always try something different.
But we'll see if that is the case. Because I kind of liked Ruin being on a more carry-orientated pick, even if he was just the punching bag for the game.
Draven ban comes out again. Lucian ban at some point will follow.
I'm sure.
I don't even know whether Forge will ban it. They may substitute out maybe the MF ban if they don't want Vardags to... Okay, blue side Lucian ban.
Okay. Lucian ban against Gap. Yeah, when target bans transcend meta bans.
I mean, it's both, actually.
Yeah.
But they're like, nah, we don't really want to prioritize it. Laning phase hasn't been a strong suit for us, for SK. Yep. So, I mean, at this point, it's either going to be Kindred that's available or something like a Rise, depending on what the last bands coming out from Forge are going to be.
Alistair aims at Heaver.
Okay, that makes sense.
Target, and target.
I think last time they were in this spot, they banned Tarek, actually, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
In game 2. So.
But last game they banned Misfortune. Elise?
Mm.
Okay.
So you take away the jungle. This is going to be a Rise here, then, in this situation. So now you're on jungle tier 2 picks, apart from the Kindred, if Forge want to take that. So now you put SK in a spot where it's like, well, you either take the Rise or you take the Kindred. One of the two.
Yeah.
We'll get the other one. Lucian not available unless they want to go the Trundle on the second rotation here as well. A couple of options for the second pick available for Forge.
I mean, I feel like if Heaver can get Braum over Trundle, he'd prefer that. But if you wanted Mimic on Trundle, that would be fine. Yeah. But if you want to aim at the ADC pool, then you could take away the Sivir and then not have the Sivir Victor coming in from SK again.
Not only is it taking it away, but with Lucian and the Draven band, which... the Draven ban is fine, in my opinion. I don't mind it. But now you've got a decent AD carry for yourselves as well. So you put Vardags into a pool of Caitlyn, which I wasn't particularly impressed with Vardags Caitlyn in lane. Or the Misfortune is available if SK want to go full team fight here.
But with that team fight, it's less of them like initiating into the team fight as it is getting positioning for the team fight that's opening up around them. So it may be slightly harder for SK, but they can still lock in, engage maybe from the jungle or something.
And I like this. It means we're not going to see the Jhin again. We found out what the spooky noise is. People tweeted us and was just like, yeah, that's when 3 out of 4 bullets.
Yeah, it's when he's doing the swag walk with his gun.
Some context, I don't really play a whole lot of Jhin, and when we were playing Riot Rumble, we didn't let Divisio play Jhin either because it was awful. So
that's true.
Actually being next
to
play Jhin is not exactly something I'm overly used to. But, okay, that's the SK, what would you call it, like, quintessential bot lane for this tournament, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. It's funny calling it quintessential, but I guess it has been. Like, if it's up, they have picked it, pretty much, unless someone has banned it. So I think it's fine. I mean, like, coming into CSQ, I was just like, maybe, but then, like, they made it work so many times that, like, I have to be sold on it now.
I have to be. I cannot argue with this at all.
They made a good pitch, honestly, and I bought the product. And Victor going to be picked up for 4G. I mean...
I've got a lot of products to pitch you then after this. I'm going to get all the money. Take all of his money.
You do look like a salesman, so...
Wow. Okay. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm just going to try and sell people on this Victor pick because I like it. We saw this matchup go the other way in game 1. The Ryze actually outfarmed, but that was Jizuki into Suno's Victor. Now I wonder whether the Ryze is going to outfarm or whether we'll start to see some of the presence from the Victor. Maybe. I feel like Jizuki shouldn't fall too far behind in this scenario. I think we're in a good spot for
sure.
I also like what SK are bringing to the table. You've got team fight, you've got the Rise to clean up later on into the game as well. So this is already starting to be a very explosive game.
Oh, for sure. I mean, all these tools can be used in team fights. Heaver is on another melee support. Of course, he wouldn't get Alistair this game. I'm just waiting for the last 2 picks from SK. I would like the Gragas, because it gives you some form of like either pick or an engage into a fight. Poppy's going to be more of a flank engage, and that has been locked in. So we're waiting on a top laner out from Forge.
Well, this feels like game 2, where they were just like, well, Maokai.
With the Sivir, especially. Trundle also wouldn't be bad, because you go into the Poppy, good matchup, but they're not really going for like 3 winning lanes here. So...
Oh, in fact, it was game 1, but it was SK that were on the red side.
Yeah.
That did that, so...
I think Trundle's fine. I think Maokai's
go with the
fine.
Trundle.
I think
either is good.
Either of those picks.
Echo would be good as well.
Echo? That's a good point. Yeah, Echo made it all the way through.
A lot of options available. So honestly, it just depends on what Mimic wants.
I love Civ and Maokai so much.
Civ and Maokai is
it's just great.
Oh, it is locked.
Cool. Well. Okay, so into the top lane, Poppy's going to go up against that.
But now you want a team fight against Misfortune Taric.
Yeah.
Which we've seen is kind of difficult to do. Because now you got to blow up the Misfortune and try and deal with the Taric ultimate. So there's room for error in this game. A lot of error potentially.
Yes. But I also like the Maokai because of that point, because then you have the Vengeful Maelstrom reducing some of that damage coming in from the Misfortune ultimate. But ultimately, if you're in a position where you're going to get hit by a full channel, you're all dead anyway. So it just needs to be like more down to positioning and how you set up the fights. Because when we've seen SK run this composition against other people, they've just had really bad setups to those fights. Like they've been in the jungle, they've been in the choke point, they've been in Baron Pit, and then you just don't want to be there when Misfortune starts channeling. So yeah, 4G just need to get on top of that Misfortune, and they have tools. They have like a super fast Maokai, like tunneling underneath with the Twisted Advance. Like they have the ways to deal with this. But again, this is an SK composition where they are not running a split pusher. They are running more of a fight composition compared to like the Fiora we had last game. So I'm just interested to see now that the playing field is kind of being put on what we saw out of Game 1 and Game 2, where it was pretty much dominant from 4G, whether we'll see a repeat of that, or we see the more even game that we saw last game that, in my opinion, was coming from the Fiora pick.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see this game. I want to get it underway, see how this ends up. Will it be another 4-game series, or will we go all the way to 5 is the question.
We will see. Always love to see more League of Legends action, especially as CSQ, we've had so much build-up to this series. And the winner, of course, will be joining us in summer, so a lot on the line. And still match point for 4G, but SK are coming back in this series. Double teleport from both teams. And Deathfire Touch coming in from Vardags's Misfortune.
Okay. So, game 38 of the EU Challenger Series qualifiers.
A lot of games.
Is it going to be the last one? We can only potentially have 39.
That's true. We won't crest the 40 mark.
Ah, damn.
Well,
one
maybe
game
next
away
year.
from a full pack of CSQ games. But lane swap or not is the question to this one. First game we had Australia lanes with Heaver on the Braum. Had that kind of cheese waiting in the bush play. Will we see the same kind of thing again? Not likely for now, at least.
Maokai starting saplings. So he may put 2 saplings down for Jizuki in the mid lane so he can laser it and pick up the small minions. Because usually you'd prefer to start
going that way.
Q in lane. It's slightly better, but
he's not doing it. He's not gone that way. Maybe he'll throw him out into red side jungle.
Might help out Taiki.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Or maybe he's just super selfish. I don't know. Because it does do slightly more damage. Like he can throw up the E and then do a bit more. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't stack a little bit earlier.
Yeah, he threw 1 onto Krugs.
He did. I was just expecting to stack
some help.
A little bit earlier.
Unlimited is going in. It's a lot of damage
gonna be exhausted. He's gonna have to flash for sure. Gap is gonna get a lot of damage. Oh. There was a moment where Gap was like, "Do I flash? Because I can pick up this kill."
He wanted it. Didn't quite see where Taric was. But Gap took so much damage from that. Like, 1 double up is really gonna hurt. This is good trading onto Heaver and Gap from Vardags.
Very nice. Really got an opportunity to utilize the love tap passive really well there, because he was just constantly swapping forth between Gap and Heaver. Top lane already, Mimic is taking a fair bit of punishment. Unlimited is going to aggress onto Gap. There's the exhaust coming out there. Going to have to flash away on that ADC, and Heaver going to put a bit of damage back onto Unlimited, but Vardags is just going to do even more onto Heaver. So already these trades are doing quite well for SK just in the laning phase.
So we're in a situation where Unlimited has no summoners, and each of the 4G bot lane only have 1 apiece. That Civet Flash is not available, so if they get locked down with one of those Taric stuns coming from Unlimited, that may very well spell the end of this lane. I mean, it's going well for Vardags so far. 11-12 CS to 5 right now, and to be expected from the start that they had. But again, SK, we saw what they could do with a decent start for their bottom lane, and it looks to be going the same way again.
Well, looks to be the case. 3 minutes into this game and decent advantages across the board. Ruin's going to return more damage onto Mimic. He's going to jump towards him. Mimic also took a bit of damage from those Krogs as well. He was helping Taiki in the jungle, so also to keep in mind. He is 1 stack also down on Ruin in terms of his Corrupting Potion, and Ruin may have found an opening here to pick up a kill. The forces the flash in from Mimic, has to flash himself, is waiting for the Hammer Shock, and maybe the E. There's the Buckler, first blood to Ruin. You can see what he can do with a power pick in the top lane.
Yeah, we finally see the Ruin that's been dominant in lane, dominant in the early game, and you know, it's partly the matchup. The Poppy does have a little bit of that more early presence, but Mimic also taking a couple of odd trades, weird back and forth from the top lane. So flash used by both of them, teleport used by both of them as well. We'll see whether SK can build from that.
Taiki heading towards the bot lane now, and has noted that it is the Ocean Dragon first, so maybe putting a bit more priority towards that one. Caesar will find him, place down the ward so he knows the positioning of Taiki currently, and more trading on in the bottom lane. All of the trading has actually just resolved in no CS lead to either side, so it really hasn't benefited them, but still Gap is without his flash, so that is to note.
Yeah, and that stems from Forge pushing out and trying to shove bot lane as much as they could. Taiki hops the wall, does not get spotted, and the reason for that is now they want it in a situation where that Taiki can come down, because otherwise Vardags would have had a fair amount of safety.
Either gonna chase after, got the concussive blows down onto Unlimited. Surely he should be dropping in. So much damage out from Gap. That's another kill in return. Suno roaming in from the mid lane, and Suzuki's gonna follow him. Suno's gonna have to jump away here, but the chair will follow him. Not quite gonna be in range.
No mana.
Got a bit of slowdown. Caesar is not yet level 6, so can't get involved in this fight. So that is a kill back towards the 4G side, this one going to the jungler.
Jizuki was no mana for the follow-up there. He wanted to get the Q into the empowered auto that follows, and maybe would have been enough for that kill. Would have been, you know, down to the single digits, you would imagine, looking at the health bars. So Jizuki TP's in, no mana, couldn't really follow up, and from there, it wasn't a further kill, but still Forge even up the kill score. A lot committed by both teams, though. Both mid laners and a lot of summoners were used on that. Ultimately, Unlimited, he died after taking a very long time to actually lose all that health. Ruin should be able to just get away from this.
Yeah, he's fine. He's going to take a slight bit of damage from Taiki. 6 minutes in, and the Rift Herald has spawned. Not a big priority for either team right now. Ruin would like it, of course. Taiki maybe as well. And Caesar into the mid lane. So what are we looking in terms of item builds? Vardags probably going to go towards this build that we're seeing more and more caster ADCs go for, with the Ghost Blade and the Black Cleaver.
Yep, saw it on day one. We were like, wait, on MF? Really? And then everybody started building it that wasn't crit based. So he's going that route. Taiki is being sneaky. They know that ward's there. So
yep. Oh no.
The eternal struggle.
Yeah.
I have Razor Sharp, and I know there's a ward there.
So I guess I just have to sacrifice it.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, Mimic's not going to push out, so he can't like take it. And if he doesn't clear it, then Ruin's going to take the pink ward. So,
and he can't gank because as soon as he moves into vision to clear it, Taiki and Caesar 1v1. Decent damage out of Caesar, but
really didn't too badly until the proc came off the E.
That's the problem, is the turnaround there, and then the Wolf's Frenzy on top of it. You got to be careful of all of that damage that comes out when Mounting Dread actually gets put onto a target.
Yep.
It's like, hey, I'm winning, I got this. Turns out those three things under you start like dealing extra damage.
And Gap is continuing to farm with the bottom lane. Is only slightly behind Vardags, but this is not a massively winning lane that we've seen out of 4G, that we've seen over the last couple games in this series. And Vardags and Unlimited kind of got given this combo that 4G were respect banning at the very start of this series, so now the fact that they're going even, if not ahead in this lane, maybe it's something that 4G should have looked to ban out, at least one component of that lane. Yeah,
I mean, we have seen bans for both of these champions individually, partly in this series and just in general. So it is an interesting one that Forge let both through, but I guess Forge just said, well, as long as we play around potential jungle presence, we should be okay. I don't think Forge really have kill presence here. Against the level 6 MF, I think... I guess she has no flash, so if you can engage... Oh, mid lane is where Taiki shows up, though.
Treading ults.
I guess if you engage and get the stun on the MF first and just pop her before she ever gets to ult, you're okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. They weren't level 6, so they couldn't really do anything. He was going to jump away, but
still
finds the dazzle anyway. But if they were level 6, they definitely could have gone for that engage. But as a result, they just kind of lost a lot of farm.
Yeah, they just stood there like, maybe we can get it.
Yeah, 10 farm behind now. So it's not the worst in the world.
Oh, those ricochets running out just before they hit Vardags, apart from the last one.
Taiki,
mid lane again.
He's looking for this guy, but this time Suno, he's going to pop the ultimate once again. Sez's coming in, E-Flash does not connect. Lands the ultimate onto Jizuki, not onto Taiki. Is so close to a kill, but the gravity field will pull him back. And Taiki gets away.
Oh man, you have to feel the ult should have gone on the Kindred. Yes, the Kindred ultimate was available as well, but if you could have followed up with a little bit of damage before...
Mid lane's coming in. Look at all the people from Force. They wanted to get a kill in return. Ruin is going to come in here and run towards his tower. And another good 2 kills coming in from Team Forge. Hiva
and Gap even roaming up from the bottom lane. They've been patiently waiting for an engaged bot, but it's actually mid. Is the collapse coming, though? They've only got 2 men running down to the bottom lane, so SK will be able to back themselves away, and you can see Gap passes himself through the jungle, so it's not a collapse onto bottom, just to catch the next wave that pushes in. Nice little play in the middle lane. Should really have been a kill from the Gragas. At least getting Taiki's ultimate. Yeah. Trading ult for ult, at a minimum. Should have been a follow-up kill.
For sure, at the very least. Hiva jumps in, dazzle onto him.
Here comes Taiki bot lane, though.
Is coming in. Cosmic Radiance has been popped with Jizuki. Mimic also already there to receive them. Unlimited, a lot of damage coming towards him. And Suno is going to return the damage. Jizuki now on top of him. The Chaos Storm still surging. And Suno will sprint out of there. And now the bottom tower will go down. Forge are making a lot of team plays.
Yeah, a lot of team plays with this composition that's built for it. The problem is, did you see the damage that Vardags managed to get like a full channel out onto everybody? If there had been more follow-up, if Cesar had been preempting the bot lane play, maybe they could have actually turned that around for SK if they'd have been able to get the disruption from the Gragas ult. Meanwhile, top side, Ruin is taking some of the health off that tower, now trading for Dragon. So Forge starting off very similarly to game 1 and 2. Making aggressive plays.
Cesar is trying to get in range, but first dragon of the game to Team Forge will be the Ocean Dragon. And let's take a look at the next one. It will also be an Ocean Dragon, so stacking them up. And yeah, I really feel like Team Forge, though, despite the disadvantage they have in the early game, still have to be wary of Vardags, because he's got a good amount of farm in this game. You can see how much damage he did in that last fight, and that's only the tier 1 ultimate. So as soon as we get later into the game, if Forge misstep, then it will take a lot, but we're going to see that engage once again.
But look at the setup to this. TP's come out, double TP onto that ward straight away, boxing SK right into that lane, stopping them from being able to fall back. The TP from Ryze is, at the point where Unlimited is already dead, Ryze arrives. So no real way of consistently taking that fight for SK. Ruin didn't have his available, I don't think. Looks like the timer, the timer wouldn't have been there for Ruin. Unless he cancelled it.
Maybe. Taiki did take away that mark there. But also good Cosmic Radiance from Unlimited, which did a bit of damage control. If he didn't pop it at that time, Vardags probably also would have perished.
I can confirm Ruin did not have his TP.
So was unable to do so. 1 and 4 in this game. We are only 12 minutes in. But still more action than the first 2 games.
Flash!
Vardags, so much damage on top of him. He doesn't have flash, and Jizuki just needs to stay in range to allow Chaos Storm to finish him off. One more tower shot will return the kill for a 1-on-1. That was very close, though.
I mean, Vardags will be like, okay, I got to kill in return, guys. But it doesn't really help the cause of SK all that much. I mean, it still advances Jizuki's presence in this game. Did have to burn his flash, though. Now Unlimited's caught.
He's by himself. Cosmic Radiance comes down and might be enough to save him, with Cesar coming down as well.
Yeah. is enough to save him. Again, they get another ultimate, though, and another summoner. That was the exhaust used by Unlimited, so... I mean, Forge are getting... Yeah, two were traded for it. You're completely correct on that.
Interesting. Well, 1 for 2.
Are you stunned that you're correct?
Yeah,
or stunned
I was
that
just like, wow,
pieced out of that?
Well, it was the 1 for 2 bargain deal for Unlimited, so he's happy. But yeah, a lot of weird things, because it's just like, yeah, we'll just spend our ultimates on the bot lane because we'll usually pick up a kill into Vardex and Unlimited, but this time they're getting 1-for-1s or actually losing out in terms of the trade. So it's just interesting to see that actually punishing that bot lane is not working as well for 4G. And I think a lot of that has gotten down to giving them their comfort picks, giving them Misfortune and Taric. And usually you wouldn't say Misfortune Taric is a comfort pick, but considering what's worked for them in CSQ, it kind of is. To be honest, I think you wouldn't normally say that it would be a good pick. Right. I think you could get away with saying it's a comfort pick, because I think that's fair in terms of SK. I mean, I like it. Don't laugh. I like it in the sense that it's something different that is working for them. Is exploitable, though, at the same time. So, you know, it's nice to see some unorthodox picks. Tower trade, 1-for-1. Forge have two options here. They can either stay for the Rift Herald or look to defend bottom side. They started the recall, then backed themselves away. But because SK are backing away from the lane as well, they stick around for the Rift Herald. So just in time, that decision was made. Yeah, so should be able to take this one down real easy. So I guess it's going to go over to Taiki. Yeah, that makes sense. More likely to be by himself to benefit from that buff. And that one's resetting, mate. You're going to have to wait until that has gone back to its original position. Also, the other side of that is Forge don't want to let SK get it, because if Poppy does get it, then she can somewhat deal with the Maokai. Poppy into Maokai, you kind of have some advantage, but it's not really enough to like take towers the entire time. Not once you're on 2 items. Yeah, then exactly. You stop dealing damage to Maokai. Yeah, you just kind of stand there against each other. Yep, slowly burning away with the Senpai cape, which is then being regened by Spirit Visage. So. Yeah, exactly. you hit the Q, and the Maokai takes damage, and then he autos you, and you realize that he gets all the health back. Yeah. So that's that matchup. There you go. There's that top lane matchup in a nutshell. Mimic doesn't even care. Just going to go for the Dark Seal, which you'll generally see like a Maokai pickup or an Echo. Generally people who aren't going to die. So later into the game, you've accrued a couple assists, a couple kills, and that gives you a lot of added value from that, especially if you've gone Corrupting Potion. Yeah, Dem extra pot duration. Real nice. Ooh. They're good. That could have been bad for a second. Cosmic Radiance, or rather Dazzle. Everybody's here connecting. Too early for Dragon. Yeah, another 44 seconds, but... I've heard of the early bird catches the worm. I've also heard of fashionably late, but like they are just so early for this one. You're too early for the party, really. I mean, this is uncomfortably early, because now everybody's standing around like, what do we do? It's like you don't want to be uncool, you know? Like, don't arrive too early. But I guess if you do arrive early, you do get to clear out the wards. Get all the good food. Yeah, exactly. Like the worm, I guess. Yeah, like the worm. Be the bird. Yeah. Well, maybe you do want to be there early. Still maybe that's 10 seconds early here, Forge. Like, come on. Come on. You're just wandering around in circles, and you're just like, well, we've got all the wards, guys. What that allowed was Rice to turn around bot lane and Poppy to push out top. Oh, and now the start of the fight. Dazzle onto Suzuki. Oh, Cesar knocks them all away, however, and that's going to be the teleport in from Mimic, who's immediately going to jump onto Ruin. Bullet time is interrupted. Suno into the fight. He was getting chunked down. Mimic's going to go towards Unlimited. Everyone's flashing away from SK, and after all that, no one dies. No one dies, but everybody's low. Gap still has his heal if they want to take a little bit of a trade, but they're going to start the Drake. It is only Ocean, though, so it should die pretty quickly. SK may be looking to recommit. There is a full health rise, but not a whole lot of mana on him. Got enough for one rotation, perhaps? Oh, Ocean Dragon is resetting. Only gained 300 health at that point. Now they want to fall back. Forge don't want to commit for this. Ocean probably not worth a 5v5 over. Oh, they really want the smite, though. They're going to come in for a potential steal. Mimic's actually going to jump towards Ruin. Gap wants to try and assist. There's Gravity no point in field stopped him. There's nothing there anymore.
Neither team wants to fight. The dragon is already dead and wasn't worth dying over in the first place. Wow. It's getting antsy.
Yeah. Well, SK are going to try and push down the mid lane now. Yeah, it was real weird. Jizuki's going to try and clear out this wave, but with the gravity field there, he's going to take that one away. And that will be a just a dragon over to SK.
That's a really weird passage of play.
Yeah, even of the setup as well. Like, everything was just bizarre over the last 2.5 minutes.
Quick, everybody get to dragon early, use everything, and then not actually fight over the dragon.
Yep.
I mean, that's Ocean Drake for you.
That is.
Like, that and Cloud, you'd be like, well, I'm not...
Because it's good enough for you to think about wanting to go for the play, but it's not quite good enough for you to immediately go in for the play and just pull the trigger. Right.
There's no worth... It's not like you can be a martyr for the cause in that scenario and just be like, guys, if we get the Drake, we win the game.
Exactly.
No, it's if we get the Drake, we have slightly increased movement speed out of combat.
Yeah. Or we have slight regen over time.
And you just sat there thinking, well, we've got a Sivir, so when we need the movement speed to get in combat, we kind of already have that.
Exactly.
Little bit isn't going to make or break the game.
Now, speaking about movement speed, we haven't seen a Cloud Dragon forever.
Oh, that's true. Sorry, it was the Ocean, of course, not Cloud. You are correct. My apologies.
Oh, I know how you can think that, because you do have that curse where like every dragon ever is just break the game. It's like 4 in a row. It's just Cloud.
Of course, Ocean is that regen.
Yeah.
Is somewhat more effective than Cloud.
Yeah.
So it's just that out of combat regeneration.
Yeah, if it was Cloud, neither of the team would have really gone for it.
Like you take it, have it. Oh, unlimited.
Yeah, it's going to take a bunch of damage. He's good. He's got the ult.
And the MF ult.
Yeah, MF ult, a lot of it was blocked by Heaver, but then he realized he was eating all of the bullets and then just jumped away.
I guess that's the scenario where pastry time is nicer than bullet time. Yeah. Because if he's eating all the pastries, as Braum,
I see. That does make sense.
Sorry, just as soon as...
Yeah. That's why we need pastry time. Well...
Oh! Away you go.
Get out of here, Maokai. That's not going to result in anything. So, I guess Poppy just testing her strength, see how far she can bat the tree. A decent distance, I would say, back to tower.
Is that like the... If only they made like Highland Poppy, you could say it's doing the caber toss in that scenario.
Could have done, but not today. It's so weird. We're seeing a lot of like big ultimates being used.
Just throw them away.
Yeah, and then like both teams back off, and it was just like, that was a good display of strength. Well played, sir. Now here's my ultimate.
This game has devolved into a 5v5 in the mid lane as well.
This is Aram, yeah. I don't know what's going on. Both the teams have just lost all strategic diversity. It's like, run mid. Group 5, run mid.
Strategic diversity. That was last year, boss.
That was, yeah.
Now it's
stay on meme.
choices.
SK, what's their meaningful choice going to be? They're going to go up river and go back mid lane.
Very meaningful.
So 2 and 5 in this game. 4G have the 3,000 gold advantage, that 1 tower advantage, and they traded dragons. And Baron is now spawned. I would say usually that neither team would go for it, but we did see 4G try and duo it earlier.
Yeah, 2-man with not a whole lot of success. TP available, the Mimic's not on the fountain, so no real chance of the home guard, and he is just running down the river as it is. So if they can catch a position, problem is...
He's on the ward.
SK also have their teamfight tools available, so... This is basically now escalation. The equivalent of... you know, a Cold War-esque like standoff where nobody's doing anything.
Yep.
Because Jizuki's gone bot. So we'll see if he can TP
the TP.
in.
Yeah.
There is a position behind or alongside the fight, but then the danger is that he becomes isolated.
Yeah, because he doesn't have Zhonya's, so he doesn't want to TP behind them.
Yeah.
Tower is slowly being chunked down, so if Forge want to go for a fight, they're going to have to go for it now. It's actually SK Gaming coming in for the fight. Big bullet time onto 2 players. Will take them both down. And Mimic tries to come in, but he'll flash over the wall. Sooner with a flash onto Gap. Big follow-up comes out. He's going real deep for this kill. Jizuki also now out of mana. He'll go after the tower. Flash away from SK. And that's a good 2 kills and the tower.
SK don't lose anyone in that scenario, and a good bullet time coming from Miss Fortune is enough to just level 4G under their own turret. Now SK want to push themselves a second turret. They have to back away. It's only Bardex that wants that one. They maybe could have swung out for Baron after that fight. maybe. It would have been a close one.
Two were very low if they randomly got hit by Baron.
That is true. You are correct on that one. I was overlooking the low health. So Ruin goes in. Again, we've talked about how Ruin can set up team fights. And look, Vardag's pretty much unopposed in the backline is able to take that turret. I mean, I wonder at this point if SK say, okay, we're happy with this, we're content, drop back. Unlimited and Suno, but I still think Ruin, Caesar, and Vardags may have been able to do it.
Maybe.
It would have been close,
for sure.
But there was no Smite Steal attempt, is the only thing.
I mean, we would have gone for that play, but maybe that would not have been the right call.
Well, Forge would have.
Yeah, Forge definitely would have.
With the two people low on health and being like, we can two-man it, right, guys?
Yeah. So maybe they learned from that decision that Forge made, and it's just like, okay, we've seen other teams do it. The tower will be traded in exchange. But I think the big thing last fight was really Vardags' ultimate. It was a full channel onto at least 3 people. And he's now picked up the Black Cleaver. That last fight was without the Black Cleaver. He only just picked that up. So even more scary now.
Yep, so now
Taiki probably shouldn't have hit that.
Every tick is going to shred armor off everybody that hits.
Yep.
And there's more than 6 ticks, so you're getting that 6 stacks.
That's true. Ruin did find Heaver. Bit of damage, but doesn't really want to kill him outright as Mimic is up there in the top lane. And here you can see what we discussed earlier, where Poppy hits Maokai and Maokai regens all his HP. Dragon is up, it's Cloud. So honestly, 4G do not care.
In fact, they're pressuring, or at least like setting up vision control around Baron. Cloud dies very quickly though, so you can't rush Baron while the enemy are taking Cloud Dragon. In fact, they backed away from it.
They did. They didn't even take it because 4G was so close around the area. So it was just like,
Thing is, I think they could have left one person. And then as soon as you motion away from the Cloud Drake, Forge have to stop. But Forge are they're gonna do their damnedest to try and take this Baron.
Oh, maybe they can find Ruin. A good pick here might open it up for them. Gap is kiting around. Vardags is coming in, Unlimited as well. They've got to be careful with the bullet time. Here it comes, Cosmic Radiance. They managed to get the interrupt down. Taiki comes in from the sidelines, pops his ultimate, but still, SK are retreating. They continue to fight. 3 versus 5. Suno and Caesar trying to do what they can on the front lines, but unfortunately, they do not have the follow-up. And that's a 4-0 to 4G.
Much better fight out of 4G. They managed to engage onto Ruin, and even though they don't kill him at first, it's enough to delay the fight to a point where the rest of Forge can actually afford to go into the backline. There's no longer a tank standing between them and the Misfortune. There was only a half channel, roughly, on that Vardag's ultimate. So we did start shredding people down and start dealing the damage, but the problem was, I believe it was Taiki gets onto him. We'll take another look exactly how he gets disrupted. Maybe even had to manual cancel if we take another look at it. So this is Ruin dropping low in the fight. Vardags, good positioning at first to get this down, but it's an exhaust of Bromalt and Taiki jumping on him is enough to get Vardags to just move. Gets the shutdown, Taiki manages to ultimate himself as Suno comes into this fight, so Suno's initial damage doesn't actually pick up the kill. Forge, the respawns have already come out for SK. Ruin is TPing into this fight. Forge are stuck in the Baron pit. They don't have Vardags and no Vardags ultimate here, so Forge are looking to just rush down this Baron.
Oh, there's only 3 members there from SK. Caesar should be falling, but that's a return kill onto Gap because he was killed by Baron. And Heaver, he's still trying to zone away Ruin. Ruin goes into the fight onto Taiki. Vardags is there as well. He does have his ultimate. Double up lands onto Taiki. Glad he was the one leading. And that was a 1-for-1. But the Baron to 4G.
This is risky if you clear that wave. Oh, okay. Sorry, Jizuki was pushing up.
I thought they might still go for that dive there. Jizuki was hanging around.
I thought so. Jizuki possibly could have lost out there. SK do not want to chance it. Look at the rest of Forge running up. Ruin wants it. He doesn't know that the rest of Forge are here.
No, Heaver and Taiki, they're still there. They got the blue trinket down, so he had a bit of forewarning. Mimic's going to be chasing after. He is on out of there. That was almost a little bit risky.
Oh man, Forge. It looked so good for SK. The initial fight mid lane that preceded all of this, that came all the way before that Baron attempt. It was looking good, and then Forge managed to start the fight on Ruin, take a fight for themselves, gather themselves back up, get themselves the Baron, and basically steal it, hopping over the wall. There was the option for SK to steal, but Gragas ends up dying, and man, that has really given Forge such a good advantage now. Just having this Baron on multiple people with this kind of composition that as soon as SK sends somebody to another lane, the Maokai goes forward, the Sivir goes forward, and they just collapse on one person.
Ruin's tanky, but he can't tank 5 people at once. 5 to 9 in this game. A lot of team fights back and forth. This last one has gone to 4G, and that will result in the Baron. Still trying to utilize that one. They still have around half left on the buff.
Ruin.
Oh, Ruin did not want to take that route. He's going to get slowed down. Gravity Field doesn't quite proc off. Concursive Blows will, though. Chaos Storm is chasing after. Not for now. Well, it's going to slow down as it gets away from Victor. And Tower will go down. So net gain over to 4G. And they will probably rotate back to this mid lane and see if they can take anything else, because they're still very healthy.
Push out mid, then they'll likely go bottom lane as well. Do exactly the same they just did. Force people out of the jungle, force them away from the turret, and push in. Problem is, Inhibitor is a lot more difficult to take without SK making a mistake. They also have the mid lane turret still up as well. Haven't been able to get that yet. Ooh, Hiva takes a lot of damage.
They're good for now. 4, 1, and 3. Jizuki having another great game on another champion. Everyone going back to base.
Ooh, gap. Uh-oh.
Got to be careful. Has to flash over the wall. Mimic going to be knocked down, knocked up, and flashing over the wall. Defensive ultimate out by Hiva. And almost a good collapse out there from SK. They still burnt 2 flashes and an ultimate. So it was just 4G being a little bit cocky with their recalls there. Yeah,
they were trying to utilize the empowered recall as best as possible, trying to min-max their time in, you know, recalling and basing. At this point, side lane control for SK is the name of the game, and right now, 4G, Team Forge, looking to push down that mid lane. Problem is, they got a Misfortune in front of them that does have her ultimate available, and it is on a fairly low cooldown, so can just clear the wave out and maybe look for some kind of fight. All of SK here, they can clear this out.
Yeah. 4G back into the position they were a minute ago. And how are we doing in terms of items? So mid laners on 3 items, and it's going to be 2 items over to Suna, so he is behind Jizuki a fair ways. Of course, a lot of gold has been sunk into the Hex deck as well, the Hex deck core.
Nearly
bot
has
lane
that GA.
Nearly has the GA. Gap is sat on 2 items and a half.
And then for Vardags, has the Executioner's Calling. Looking for the Mortal Reminder, taking this for the Grievous Wounds rather than the % difference in health. You know, you get the added one from Lord Dominic's. Doesn't want Mimic regenerating a lot of that health. Doesn't want Taiki doing the same.
Mimic, Taiki, heal from Gap. There's actually a lot here.
Yep, exactly. Wants to just shred through a lot of that sustain that is going to come in the fights.
Yep. And another push down mid lane. When in doubt, go mid. And so far they've gotten like a little bit of damage onto it, but obviously the minions haven't been buffed up, so it's so difficult to even hit that anymore.
Jizuki was top, but hang on, Misfortune just showed bottom lane. Normally, that is a signal to just go and commit. Problem is, Forge haven't got anything to commit on right now. No. So we're in a case of push out wave recall, until the next objective comes back up. We're still
wait for Baron.
Still waiting for Baron. Dragon will spawn as Ocean Drake, so we're a long way off Elder Dragon actually spawning. Even though we are about to, well, coming up close to the 35-minute mark, the Ocean Drake will spawn first and will remain. Once it is killed, then you will have the respawn timer for that Elder Drake, which is only 6 minutes at the initial spawn. But subsequent ones will be 10 minutes.
That is correct. And now 1 minute, 30 seconds on the Baron. So pretty much these objectives are going to come up around the same time. Only a 20-second difference between them. It just depends where the team's priorities are. Most likely going to be Baron. Unless they really, really want Ocean. But until they get more buffs and then the Elder Dragon, you don't really see that trade. But Baron for sure will be contested. You can see a lot of the vision actually going over to 4G side on both objectives. SK's, most of their vision is around their own jungle defensively, because they are on the back foot.
The other side is we may actually see just Forge rush the Dragon first, then the Baron, just to test the water, see how much SK are willing to commit.
Yeah.
Because if SK commits somebody to try and control vision there, and you can pick them off with this Sivir with the Maokai, you get then the Baron to follow.
Yep.
So if there is a small-scale skirmish that Forge win, you would be able to transition into the second greater objective, and you don't really want to 50-50 down and get stuck in the Baron pit with this Misfortune ultimate.
No.
Not without a good flank, not without a good disrupt on it. So honestly, Forge have the position should they want to take the Drake on spawn. SK would not be able to rush down the Baron in enough time.
Yeah, most certainly do not want to be put in that position. 10 seconds left on Baron. It's actually SK who have the positioning here. Cezar's trying to slowly take down this Rift Scuttler. And here comes the Baron. Is now on the Rift. 33 minutes in. 5-9. Advantage to 4G. This fight will probably go their way.
Mimic recalling.
Mimic recalling, as long as they can just avoid another full channel ult from Vardags.
There's a ward in the mid lane, but it's far out from the Dragon Pit. Full back ping has gone back. In fact, Maokai is still pushing top lane.
Here comes two blue trinkets to reveal Taiki.
Ooh, Forge
it's down
split.
to half. Forge a split. SK, oh, there is a group. Here comes a TP out from Mimic. Hiva and Gap are gonna regroup, reconverge. Good knock back by Cezar. Get the full channel ultimate by Misfortune there. Taiki backing away over the wall in this one-on-one with Ruin. Meanwhile, Mimic is finally into this fight. Good arcane smash into 4 players. The follow-up coming in from Gap, and the mid laner is huge onto Cezar Unlimited. Still no kills just yet, but a big vengeful Maelstrom will pop down 2 players. Suno also getting chased after. Make that the third as soon as he comes up from the Guardian Angel. It will be the 4th kill of the fight as another one went down in the background. Double kill Alpha Gap, 4-0.
That's going to be mid lane push plus the Baron coming out from Forge. 40 seconds on Suno. I don't think it's enough to end the game. Forge don't really have enough for that, as it's only 19 seconds for Misfortune, so they may look for mid plus Baron recall back out. So in that fight, the Gragas ultimate actually disrupted so much of the placement coming for that Misfortune ult. It was going to hit everybody for the full channel. I believe the Gragas ult was about halfway through the channel and blasted everybody almost out of that cone. We will end up taking a look at it after the Baron has fallen. Ruin trying to do his best just to even some of this up. Won't get much more than he's already had and will be forced to recall back out. Baron goes over to Forge.
We're going to see a replay of that. Yeah, so, I believe that was a very unfortunate Gragas ultimate coming out.
So, here comes the setup. It's a good Poppy ult here because they know if they get Mimic out of this fight to start, they should be able to follow up. So, on the channel of the MF ult, yeah, right at the beginning, and even then forced out the cancel on Vardag's ultimate. Good gravity field. Pulls in 3 and holds them for Mimic, and Mimic actually gets a double kill during this. Ruin chases out Taiki for the entire duration of this fight, and what that means is there's nobody actually to deal with Gap. Gap has no carry or tank in his face for the majority of this fight, and he's freely able to output damage. Taiki didn't even fall from the Poppy chasing him, and that's just SK's teamfight composition not being coordinated at that point. It is difficult to do every single time, and that time SK fail it, and it gives away the Baron.
It's sad because the fight and the setup was fine. Ruin had a fantastic ultimate to start off as soon as the TP came in from Mimic. There was nothing he could do about it, but really just down on that Gragas ultimate. And it's amazing when you have these teamfight compositions, how one misplaced spell can literally just mean a Baron. Like, it's crazy how much these big, impactful ultimates mean in a teamfight composition like this.
And even with this game feeling so much closer than the first 2 of this series, look at the lead for Forge.
Yep. It's,
just under 10k.
Quite a lot. 2 tower advantage, but more importantly, a lot of these objectives like Baron, like Dragon have gone over to them.
Victor's going mid here, has TP available. Yep. So it's just a double lane push right now.
Suno has TP as well. He's playing on the back foot, but Jizuki, he's just going from lane to lane, pushing in these minions. And the tower will be falling here for 4G. Ruin gets knocked over by Hiva and the slowdown. Taiki's going to try and get in range for Mounting Dread, but not quite enough.
Jizuki actually went and got blue buff, so he actually forewent the Baron push in top lane. There was a big stack heading up there. So he gets blue buff, now going to rotate mid. Forge pushed that bottom tower down. Going to try and push that mid lane wave in. Ryze is there to defend, but of course those melee minions will be able to heal up, or resist a lot of the damage, if you'll excuse me. The magic damage that comes out.
Indeed, and this push continues. Eva is on the front lines. He's very wary of a potential Misfortune ultimate coming out, and he has no ultimate, so it's going to be on him to get the Unbreakable up. Good wave clearing out from SK. They are delaying it, but look at the wave clear out from 4G with a Victor and a Sivir. It's going to trump that every time.
Still a quarter of the cooldown, the buff of Baron remaining. Problem is no minions around them apart from that cannon minion, which is sat outside of the tower range. Now they'll tank off the first wave.
And Gap did use his ultimate just for the movement speed to get to tower a little bit faster. But they are slowly chunking this down. There's no real reason for 4G to leave because they are winning out. Those double cannon minions are forcing down the tower. SK may have to go for the fight here. Bullet time onto 5 players, onto Mimic as well. He's knocked into the team. He should be going down here, but the Lamb Spike will keep him alive for a second. Guardian Angel will do the same. SK Gaming keep up the chase, and 4G do not want the re-engage. They'll leave Mimic to die here. 1-0, and the tower, miraculously, is still alive.
And the problem here is Forge just kind of allowed SK to group in one lane. They had top pushing in, they had mid pushing in. They could have utilized Jizuki being in either of those lanes, but Jizuki had really weird prioritization when he was pushing up the first time. Goes mid, then leaves mid, goes to blue buff, and does not push in a big stack in the top side. And from that, comes back down to the bottom lane, just running there. And you end up in this situation where Forge are trying to over-push. There is no reason to push this hard in a 5 versus 5 because you're then engaging into SK's composition. The bullet time is there, the Taric ultimate will keep them alive, and that results only in 1 kill, but enough just, counter-push in that setup that Forge had to back away. On the plus side for Forge, Mimic will be up in time for the Elder Dragon spawn, and there are now wards in the enemy jungle with the home guard potential. If Mimic just stays put for the next 10 seconds, we could be looking at Elder Drake into teamfight.
Vardags is just being allowed too many good ultimates in this game. Like, the amount of 4 to 5 man ultimates I've seen is just disgusting. And that one in the Dragon River would have been a 5-man had it not been knocked out by Caesar. So 4G need to be more cognizant of the ultimate coming in.
The ward in the top left of your screen could very well be the one that spells the start of this team fight for SK. Depends where Mimic wants to come in. We're looking at a smite fight now. 5k health.
Down
in goes
to
Ruin.
half. Taiki, he's heading off to the side in this one-on-one. Once again, Mimic is in the back lines. He's going to try and cause some havoc. Moves on to Unlimited. Wants to get out of here. Ruin goes down into Guardian Angel. The rest of 4G will converge on him. He tries to buy some time. Flash over the wall. Mimic is also trying to get it up on there onto that Poppy. Flash. Chaos Storm will tick down and pick up the kill. 1-0. Finds Vardags. Split from the team. What is he even doing there? 50 seconds on the death timer. This could be critical for SK.
They committed hard onto Mimic in the same way that Forge committed onto Ruin, but Mimic is so much more difficult to kill. And that results in 2 kills going over. I think Vardags was just there from trying to deal with the Maokai, but unfortunately, just too much sustain, too much tankiness. And even though the Baron buff has expired a long time ago for 4G, now Team Forge are pushing for their first inhibitor of the 4th game in this series, maybe building towards a series win.
Man, they are killing these objectives so fast. This bot tower's already dead, pretty much. It's just standing up. Barely, and now this inhibitor will also fall. 2 inhibs down. Now Vardags and Ruin are respawning, but not in time to do anything. Maybe 4G could pick up a dragon on the back of that, but let's take a look at that one more time.
So TP placement is into the wave in the mid lane, which isn't the worst, but also is still fairly far away. Look at how SK peel up, though. 4 people commit onto the Maokai. In the same way, 4 people from Forge are committing onto Ruin here, but Hiva playing defense a little bit, blocking Unlimited's way into this fight as the rest of Forge take out the Poppy here. Mimic, still, look at his health. This is after 4 people commit to him. Vardags, too far forward. The rest of the team are already over the wall, and that means Misfortune is not able to get herself out of that fight. And that really swings this game now so far in favor of Forge. SK are going to have to try and deal with an Elder Dragon attempt while 2 inhibitors are down, pushing now into them with super minions.
Ruin is having to defend 2 of these lanes by himself, and I don't even think he can stop this from happening. The super minions are a little too difficult. You can see recalls now coming in from SK. However, 4G did send people back to base, so for now, the Dragon is still available for the 2 teams. And 4G, they're going to start it off. Hiva coming in here. Rest of the team coming out. And SK Gaming, they're only now reacting. Do they even want this fight? Well, it looks like they may even be going for it.
5k health on the Elder Dragon should be going over to Forge.
Oh, bullet time onto 5 players there. That's a lot of damage to open this one up. Suna's going to have to flash away as the Chaos Storm comes in. Cosmic Radiance comes down. Gap is trying to build a little bit of damage on the backside. First kill onto Hiva. It's now damage control. Mimic needs to get out. Oh, what a gravity field out from Jizuki. He completely stalls out that play from SK.
Force the turnaround from SK. Now Forge are on the recall. Only lost Hiva. But I think SK are just wounded enough that they'll think twice about starting the Baron straight away. Pings have gone onto topside to clear it out from Forge. SK did not move over to the Baron. They still have to deal with the super minions pushing into their base, and now Forge want to reset for the same thing, while Vardag's ultimate theoretically would not be available, but it should be back up by the time the Baron fight actually starts. So Forge managed to rush this down. There is no presence from Caesar in the beginning of this fight, but look at the difference now. Look at how low Gap is, has to flash away from Ruin. Hiva drops low as well, and Taiki actually ultimates very early, trying to save Hiva, but it's already far too late for a save on himself, at least. Was expecting perhaps a little bit more burst damage just to keep himself alive. With that ultimate, Sivir, ultimate has been popped. They're onto Unlimited.
We're on the hunt onto Unlimited. Mounting Dread will slow him down. Taiki's going to follow up, but that W will spell doom for him from Mimic. Jizuki is around the Baron area. Most certainly Forge will start this one off.
45 seconds, or now down under 40 on that Taric. Means no invulnerability for this next little fight if SK were looking to commit, which they are not. They know it has already gone over. Forge now, Elder Drake, and the Baron buff. This is very difficult to deal with.
Very tough. Maybe even worse than the old 5 Drakes aspect and Baron.
Well, it is Cloud plus Ocean. It's not like they've picked up
not
3 Infernos and or like 3 mountains where you run up to a turret, tap it once and it dies.
Dead, yeah. Braum just walks up and 100 zeros it.
It's like, I didn't know Relic Shield worked on
towers. Nice execute damage. Well, Forge all grouped around the top side of the map here. Something tells me that this could be the final push coming in on this one. Forge pushing down this minion wave. And SK Gaming all grouped up to try and defend. They've still got mid pushing, they've still got bot pushing. This will be tough to defend.
Yeah, I mean, Ruin is even having trouble with that super minion that's pushing through the bottom side, and he has to recall now, otherwise he won't be there in time to defend this. But slow and steady should be the race for Forge, because they over-pushed last time and it cost them. They have to be careful. If the Braum shield goes up or they interrupt the Misfortune ult, they should still be okay. Oh man, Vardag's just got chunked half of his health from one laser.
Well, these cannon minions are still raining down onto this tower, slowly taking it out. 4G are just so strong right now. Mimic is just an unkillable monster.
SK, they have to go at some point.
They need to make something happen. Ruin tossing out the buckler. Caesar just tanking up some damage. They're losing health and they're bleeding out on this tower.
Oh, they're okay for one more wave, but as the next one pushes, the next wave, SK know Forge are going to look to push for their base, so they're going to have to try something. Suno gets chunked down.
Every time they step near the minions, they're getting damage coming in, and they're even having to defend the mid lane at the same time. Ruin's just going to come into the fight. Bullet time comes out. It's interrupted out from Hiva. Taiki goes down. Could be a potentially good fight from SK. Mimic is still tanking up Vardax, but he's completely untouched on the backside. But just like that, everyone from SK starts evaporating, but they do take down Mimic. In return, Gap manages to pick up the kill onto the mid laner. That's a 3-for-2. Vardax on Unlimited. They are SK Gaming's last hope, and all of these minions come in here, and SK Gaming as an organization from the World Finals to elimination from CSQ. Team Forge secure the last spot in Challenger.
That fight at the end, the kill onto Taiki, it looked so good at a start, but it wasn't enough. The Victor damage that comes out, the Sivir damage that follows as well is enough to just take SK out. Vardak's Unlimited remained, but it just was not enough to hold on to that game. Too many minions, too much tower pushing potential.
Nope, not even a bot time is going to save you at that point.
Team Forge have made their way now into Challenger Series.
Yeah, very impressive. Forge have surprised me in this tournament, honestly. They started off, and when you looked at all the powerhouse teams in this tournament, it's just like, I don't know how they're going to compete. And as it went on, they looked better and better. They started with Denden, of course, in support. And then as soon as Ahiva came in, he reinvigorated the lineup and made them a faster team. But I want to touch briefly on SK as we talk about Team Forge, because they, as an organization, were in the World Championships a few years ago. Now they are out of the running for even getting back into LCS in this split. And that is a crushing blow for an organization, but also a crushing blow for the likes of Vardags and Unlimited, who went down from the LCS, now into Challenger, and now they have to fight their way back into Challenger in the next split. It's, for these individual players, it's a huge body blow.
And I think, to that point, I think the frustration has to be that we saw so much better play out of them in the group stage.
Right.
And that, I think, is one of, when you look at SK in this final, is going to be one of the disappointing things for them. For Forge, on the other side, though, I think you look at games 1 and 2 and how dominating Forge were. I mean, there's no real second guessing in those games. Like, the laning phase, just the decision making by Forge was just better.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
That's the thing, is with only so many Challenger Series places, a team like Forge that seemed ready for this. As soon as Hiva was back in the lineup, they were ready. They had their play style. They wanted to be aggressive, and they were really punishing teams. And honestly, for Forge, that's you know, an exciting prospect now to watch in Challenger Series.
Yeah, for sure. I'm very excited to watch what Forge can do against some of the mainstays of Challenger who will be returning. But it was, yeah, it was a crazy series. For a second, I thought SK Gaming were going to come back, because in that third game they looked way better. I liked the curveball that they threw. This game was actually way more even, but again they went back to the formula that they ran in game 1 and game 2, and it simply was not going to work against 4G. I mean, they basically rinsed and repeated what they did in the first couple of games in this series and had the same results. So there is no drawing board to go back to for SK Gaming.
Not.
They will have to think about what they need to do next split. But for Forge, yeah, they have a pretty exciting split ahead of them. I've been very impressed by not only the individual players on the team. I could name literally every one of these players and say something good about them. But as a team, I like how they came together.
I think the interesting thing is Jizuki and Gap, right? Is because they've not really been in Challenger Series before, so seeing players alongside Hiva, Taiki, players that we're used to. Mimic in this series had a very good series as well. So certainly you're right, there are different aspects, but I like to see, you know, these players that we haven't seen so much excelling. So you know, it's good to see from a team like Forge. I hope they can keep it up. Yeah, just that kind of level.
I think so. But to that point, I mean, they have kept it up, I think, in terms of consistency when they're not running like Jhin in the bot lane. But if they can run Draven and make it work, then maybe they can do anything.
Right, but I think there was an air of overconfidence from Forge, which is something we've seen from Challenger teams in the past, certainly. So now we get to see, is that something that permeates through all of their games, or was it in these games where they were stomping because they flashed over walls, which was fine, they'd won those games, but then it goes to a Jhin pick, and I'm like...
Also, to clarify before you jump on Twitter, the Jhin pick is not what I was hating. The way he played it with the in-mobility or the low mobility as he got ganked early game was what I was questioning. Before you tweeted me and said, like, Jin's a good pick.
And that's what I mean. I think it just in the overall game plan for that game, I think the Jhin was quite a confident pick that didn't work out. So certainly Forge, they've got a lot of things that they can pull out. I want to
see more Draven. So good.
Hans Sama versus Gap.
That would be amazing. Yeah. 1v1 Draven tournament, but with 4G and Misfits from our previous series, the European Summer Challenger qualifiers are now completed, so we can see them getting into Challenger now for Summer. But was that 4 games in both best of 5s?
It was. Both were 3-1 series. Misfits edging out the win earlier over ESG with some crushing games on both sides.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Misfits would end up taking it, and then you just saw the SK4G series. But if you need a reminder of any of the action from CSQ, the VODs, or a reminder of the upcoming LCS schedule, because don't forget LCS returns next week, head over to lolesports.com. It's got all of the info you need.
Yes, indeed. And that marks the end of day 6 of CSQ. So thank you very much for joining us on this marathon of games. On behalf of myself, Stress, Sifa, and Vedius, and everyone else on the CSQ broadcast team, we'll be seeing you next week for LCS and back here on June 8th for Summer Challenger Series.